Welcome to another episode of PSLE Science Made Simple. I'm Gerard, and I'm a PSLE Science Specialist here at the Pique Lab. In this video, I'll be analysing a past year examination question on the topic of plant cycles. I have also prepared this question for you to download for free by clicking a link in the description box below. So, let's get started. Question 14. Diagram A shows the distribution pattern of three plants X, Y, and Z, and they're all found on an island. Now, how do we identify the three different plants? They are represented by different symbols given on the right-hand side of the diagram. The oval representing plant X, pentagon representing plant Y, and the star representing plant Z. So just by looking at diagram A, can you tell me how many of each type of plant is present? There is one of each type of plant. So let's keep that in mind and continue reading the question. It then says that diagram B shows the distribution pattern of the plants 5 years later. If we take a look at diagram B, do we still see one of each type of plant? No, we see that there are now more than one of each type of plant. So how did this happen? There was an increase in the number of plants, so each type of plant must have reproduced. How do you think plants reproduce? The plants must have bore fruits, and the seeds in the fruits must have been dispersed around the island before the seeds grew into plants. Let's quickly recap on the 4 different seed dispersal methods. We have dispersal by wind, water, animals, and lastly, splitting. So the trick to this question is to identify the dispersal pattern from the diagram so that you can then match it to the different dispersal methods that we have just talked about. Let's take a look at plant X first. In order to know its seed dispersal pattern, we must first find the parent plant, which always serves as the reference point. Can you remind me which shape represents plant X? It is the oval shape. Using diagram A, we know that the parent plant of X can be found here as circled. Let's transfer this information to diagram B and highlight where we can find the rest of plant X around the island. So what do you notice of the dispersal pattern of plant X? Do you see a specific pattern? No. So we say that its dispersal pattern is random. So, if the dispersal pattern is random, what seed dispersal method is this? This is dispersal by animals. Can we do the same for plant Y? Which shape represents plant Y? It is the pentagon shape. So first, let's circle the parent plant Y in diagram A. Let's transfer that information to diagram B now. And we then highlight the rest of plant Y around the island. What do you notice of the dispersal pattern of plant Y? It seems to be in one specific direction towards the right-hand side of diagram B. What is blowing towards the right-hand side of the diagrams? It is wind, as indicated in diagram A. And if we can find all of plant Y dispersed in the direction of wind, its dispersal method must be by wind as well. Lastly, let's take a look at plant Z. Which shape represents plant Z? It is the star shape. We transfer that information to diagram B and we highlight where we can find the rest of plant Z. It seems to me that all of plant Z is clustered around the parent plant. And so, what dispersal method is this? This is dispersal by splitting. So before we move on, can I ask which dispersal pattern was the most obvious to identify? It is dispersal by splitting because all of the young plants are always clustered around the parent plant. So the next time you need to identify dispersal methods using dispersal patterns, you can look out for young plants clustered around their parent plant, as this immediately indicates that the seed is dispersed by splitting. Now that we're done identifying each of the dispersal methods, we can take a look at the question and the options. Based on the observations, which of the following statements about the fruits of plants X, Y, and Z are possibly correct? Statement P. The fruit of plant X has small stiff hooks. Can we recall what is the dispersal method of plant X? It is dispersed by animals. So a question I have for you is if small stiff hooks are a characteristic of fruits dispersed by animals. Yes. Why do you think this characteristic is important for seeds that are dispersed by animals? It is because the small stiff hooks allow the fruits of plant X to be attached to the outer covering of animals. And this allows the fruits to be carried away from the parent plant as the animal moves around. An example is a mimosa fruit. If you're interested to know more about the mimosa fruit, you can always Google it at home. In fact, this is only one type of fruits that are dispersed by animals. And so far, we've only been talking about the inedible fruits. What is another type of fruit that can be dispersed by animals? Besides inedible fruits, we also have edible fruits. Can you tell me some important characteristics edible fruits must have in order to be dispersed by animals? Edible fruits must first have a juicy flesh to attract the animals to eat them. Secondly, the edible fruits must have indigestible seeds to prevent the seeds from being digested by the animal so that these seeds can be passed out together with the animal's waste away from the parent plant. In summary, please remember that there are two types of fruits that are always dispersed by animals. They are the inedible fruits and the edible fruits. Now, let's go on to statement Q. The fruit of plant Y has a waterproof outer covering. Can we recall what is the dispersal method of plant Y? It is dispersed by wind. Do you think having a waterproof outer covering is necessary for seeds or fruits that are dispersed by wind? No. So let's put a cross on statement Q. Only fruits that are dispersed by water require a waterproof outer covering. Instead, what characteristics should the fruits of plant Y have? Since the seeds are dispersed by wind, they should be lightweight and have wing-like structures. This is to help them to stay afloat for a longer time in air to be dispersed away from the parent plant. Lastly, statement R. The fruit of plant Z splits open when it is dry and ripe. Plant Z is dispersed by splitting. Does statement R describe the process of splitting? Yes. So I'll put a tick on statement R. Since its dispersal is by splitting, what kind of structure do you think the fruit of plant Z has? The fruit of plant Z must have pod-like structures. And since statements P and R are correct, the answer in this question is option 3. So for similar questions, do remember the 4 seed dispersal methods, each of the dispersal patterns, and the characteristics of the fruits that are dispersed by that method, because it will help you answer such questions. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you found this video useful, do give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to check out more videos by us, do click on the links on the right hand side. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye!